All right, I think we're recording. So tonight I'm going to talk about, my name is Lauren Boulier for anyone watching that doesn't know who I am. Tonight I'm going to be talking about 5 tips for creating a work schedule and just a few things as far as being efficient in your business. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've been a coach for 2 years now, and I literally have been struggling with this since I signed up as a coach. Setting aside work hours and just finding ways to be efficient when I sit down to work have just always been such a struggle for me. I don't know why. It was just something I just couldn't get down pat. I never was really consistent with my business. I just wasn't doing it every day. And just recently, just this year, I started really setting time aside and doing a couple of these tips that I'm going to give you. And so I just thought it would be really important to tell you what I've learned, and hopefully you can take away some of the things and use them. And if you don't, maybe it'll kind of open your mind to some new ideas for yourself. But I hope some of these help. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I don't want to keep you too long, but my first tip number 1, is decide how much time you can dedicate to your business. I know it probably sounds easy to think that, well, yeah, I can decide how much time I'm going to dedicate, but really think about it. Make it work for your schedule where you're not feeling overwhelmed with, I have to work 3 hours tonight, or I have to put in 2 hours. Like, give yourself enough time, put in a certain amount of time every day and decide on that amount of time, whether it's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever is good for you. My mother is calling me. Sorry. Whatever is good for you that isn't going to make you feel overwhelmed to the point where you feel like you don't have a social life, or you can't, do things with your family. Like, you don't want that to happen with this. And this is something that I've learned because I would sit down and work on the computer for like hours. And I would kind of get up and be like, what did I get done? Like, I never felt like, I would get stuff done, but I just was spending too much time. And so you want to set aside a certain amount of time, 1 hour, 2 hour, and set those times every day and stay dedicated to it. And tweak it if you need to. But I mean, we're all busy in different ways. So it's important to really ask yourself, how much time can I donate to this business where you aren't going to feel overwhelmed with it? My recommendation is that you dedicate at least 1 hour. And that might change as your business grows, or you may find that you have more than that allotted time that you set aside, and you can just adjust your schedule. But start with 1 hour. And however much time you decide, you have to stick with it every day. There are some days where I just don't feel like sitting down to do it, but I know that it's important to stick with that, and you'll be happier with the results that you get from being consistent with it. One thing that I did, and this is a tip to help you stay dedicated to those hours, is set it up on your calendar on your phone, or put it into like the reminder section of your phone and remind you to sit down at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I started putting it into my calendar on my phone. I wanted to work from about 7:30 to 9:30 every night. Some nights it was a little shorter if I knew I had to do something around the house or whatever it may be. And then other nights it was a little bit longer. But I kept some type of reminder in my phone because I just would forget, or I would think of other things to do. And so that is my first tip as far as creating a work schedule. You have to set aside a certain amount of time. So the next tip is to, and this is I'm kind of going to go over a couple things in this one, but you want to allow this business to be portable. And what that means is just try to work from wherever you are. And when I say, in my first tip, I said to try to set aside 1 hour a day. That doesn't mean you have to sit down on the computer for an hour straight. Work from wherever you are. And it's such a great thing that you can do this with this business as long as you take advantage of that. For the longest time, I would never use my cell phone. I mean, I would use it to make social media posts and things like that, but as far as like sending out invites or follow-ups, I just would never use my phone. I always felt like I need to be at the computer. I need to be home, sitting at my kitchen table. I need to have my notebook. Like I felt like I needed to be home first, when really I could have done everything from my phone. So try to make this business as portable as you can. In this way, you know, if you don't have time to sit down at the computer every night, you can do it all from your phone if you're out and about. So a few things as far as making it portable. If you're, hold on, I'm losing where I was trying to talk. So if you have an hour a day, you can use, you know, if you have 15 minutes while you're getting your oil changed or sitting and waiting to pick up your kids or something like that, you can easily get on Facebook and add 3 people to your network. Or you can plug in the headphones into your phone and listen to a podcast or listen to personal development on the way to work. Things like that. And I recently started doing this, where if I had a few extra minutes, I would go in and listen to a few minutes of personal development. I didn't have to listen to the whole podcast. I'll listen to some of it and pause it and come back to it later. So just try to squeeze it in wherever you can. And just try to, like, if you have 30 minutes on your lunch break, I personally only have a 30-minute lunch break. So you can set aside to do Beachbody from your phone on those 30 minutes and break it up throughout the day if you have 1 hour to spend. I like to space my workout throughout the day, and you know, I do a little bit in the morning, do a little bit at lunch, and a little bit at dinner. And with that, it just doesn't feel so overwhelming when I sit down at night to work. You can just get a lot done during the day. So try to make it as portable as possible. And it kind of brings me into my next tip. And I mean, I guess all these tips are pretty related, and I'll go into different ways to be efficient. And so my next tip is to get focused. And I know this is like a really broad thing to say, but something that a lot of us do is we probably sit down on the computer or on our phone to work, and we probably have the TV on or whatever it may be. So my number one tip that's different than turning the TV off is to turn the notifications off on your phone. And I know that is probably so hard to even think about, like not getting Facebook notifications or Instagram notifications. But I mean, if you think about it, how many times do you pick up your phone to see if someone liked your picture or commented, or if someone texted you or anything like that? I mean, it was almost just a habit for me to pick my phone up and just see who liked my picture or who commented on my picture. I would do it all day long, and just out of habit. It wasn't even like I needed to. I just would pick it up and just be like, oh, and you know, it just was such a habit. And so about 2 months ago, I turned off my notifications, and I felt like naked without them. I mean, I wasn't seeing anyone liking my pictures. I just wasn't getting any of my Instagram updates or anything like that. And now when I look at my phone, you know, the only notifications I turned off were my Facebook and my Instagram. So I don't see any notifications unless I physically go into the app, and then my notifications are all there, but they just don't pop up on my phone throughout the day. And so once I started doing that, at first I was like still kind of checking Facebook, but those notifications weren't coming up, and I felt like just so much better. I wasn't constantly checking my phone and things like that. So definitely go into your settings and just turn off those notifications, even if you just turn them off like Monday through Friday, and then turn them back on for the weekend if you want to, or just kind of start small if you need to, but you're not going to miss anything. You will still be able to see who posts, who comments and likes and all that. It just won't distract you throughout the day. What was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. Another thing that you can do, this is kind of obvious, but turn off the TV while you're working. Move into a separate space to work. And I say this because, you don't need to spend hours and hours and hours on this business. You really can work 30 minutes to an hour a day and still be efficient. And so for you to do that, for you to work 30 minutes or 1 hour, you need to be so focused and just nothing distracting you. Otherwise, it's going to take you 2 hours to do something that could have been done in 30 minutes. So I used to sit in the living room on the couch with the TV on and work. And then I just felt, I was sitting there for like 2 or 3 hours and not getting anything done. So I started to move into the kitchen and sit at the kitchen table or go into a separate room. And I would find that the things that took me so long before took me so much less. So setting a work schedule, set aside time to set aside your hours, make sure that you are super focused, turning off any notifications, and allowing this business to be as portable as possible. So another thing that I like to do, this is all part of the Get Focused, I guess, is I set little mini alarms in my phone. So if I'm sitting down to do my little power hour and invite people and things like that, and you guys might have heard this, but I'll just set little alarms. So I'll set an alarm for like 15 minutes and I'll go through and I will message a few people and build relationships, or go to someone's page and kind of comment and like and stuff. Whatever it is, I'll set a small little alarm in my phone for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And when that goes off, I move on to the next. This way you're not spending an hour, scrolling Facebook trying to find someone to talk to. When you're sitting down to work, you can, obviously put your phone on silent or put it in the other room. If you're on the computer, don't bring it near you. We have such a habit of using it and picking it up, like I said before, that you will find you'll just be sitting there on your phone so much longer than you need to. So if you do use the alarms, knowing that you only have a certain amount of time to do your power hour and things like that is going to keep you on track and more focused. You're going to see the alarm ticking, going down, and you realize you have 2 minutes left to send out 2 more invites. I mean, you're going to get those done. You're going to feel not rushed. I don't want you to feel rushed, but I just want you to feel more focused and more like you need to get this done. No more messing around, no more scrolling Facebook, stuff like that. Do what works for you. I mean, if you don't feel like that would work for you, maybe you can try something else. But knowing that I only had a certain amount of time to do something was something that really has helped me recently. So going into tip number 4, this is something, my tip is just to make efficiency your number 1 goal. And that's kind of another broad tip. I didn't realize how broad these tips were, but I was trying to kind of give you small mini things to do in these. So, and this is also something I've struggled with, honestly, for the past 2 years. And it really, literally, I've had light bulbs go off in my head the past couple of weeks of things that I could have been doing this whole time, and I was not doing them. So that is why I'm sharing these with you, because maybe you're struggling with this as well. So you want to focus on the tasks that you need to do, but find ways to be as efficient with them as possible. So like I said before, take this business and make it portable. So you want to use your cell phone to your advantage. And I say that because there are so many times where when all I have is my phone and I need to answer someone back about my challenge group, and I wouldn't use it. So that was why I kind of wanted to shift to using that. So instead of waiting until you log into your computer, use your phone. One thing that you can do, I use Google Drive, and I also use the notes section of my iPhone. So Google Drive has 2 apps. I'm sure you might already have these, but Google Drive and Google Docs. You can link them right up to your phone. So anything you update on the computer updates to your phone, just like the Notes app if you have an iPhone. I don't know anything about Android if you have an Android, but I'm pretty sure the Android you can still download Google Drive and Docs. So with those 2 apps, you can easily go in, copy, paste, update documents, everything you need to do right from your phone. So if you have anything on your drive, you can also get it right on your phone and your computer. Another thing to be efficient, and this is probably something, well, I struggled with this, but save scripts into your Google Drive so that when someone asks you what a challenge group is or what is the 21-day fix, you can easily just go into your phone, copy and paste it, and write them back. Use scripts to your advantage. This is going to make your business run so much smoother. This way, you'll find that you're going to get the same questions over and over. What is Shakeology? What is a challenge group? How much does it cost? What's in Shakeology? Everything, any question that you get, someone else is going to ask it. So when you get a question like this, write out an answer and save it. Don't feel like you have to write it out again, or someone's going to ask you it next week and you're going to feel like you need to write it out again. It's going to take up so much time. So write out a script, save it to wherever you want to save it to, and use it. I always had scripts from when I started. My coach shared them with me, but I just didn't use them. For some reason, I felt like I needed to be customized and send people different things, and I still customize my messages, but only to a certain extent. There's no reason why you need to drag it out any further than that. So you'll probably need to customize them just based on the conversation, but for the most part, you'll be able to use the same script for anyone. And it's going to save you so much time and keep you efficient, and it will just be so much easier. So another thing that I do to be efficient is I schedule out my posts on social media. I don't mean using Hootsuite. I use Hootsuite, but only for my groups. I don't recommend really using that for your personal Facebook page. You can if you really, really need to, but I recommend only using Hootsuite for like group posts. But I do still schedule out posts. I just keep them in my phone in the notes section or in whatever I need to. Sometimes I'll email my posts to myself, but think of them the night before. Think about what you're going to post about or what you want to say and write it out, or make up a collage or something that you're going to post, a picture. Do it all the night before. This way, come tomorrow morning, Monday morning, or whatever day, you're not going to want to sit there and think of what you want to write and make up a pretty picture all in the morning time. Sometimes you will. I do that sometimes. But when I know I'm going to be busy, or I'm not going to be by my phone all day, do it the night before. Write out 3 posts that you're going to do. Write them all, type them all up, make different pictures, blah, 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 whatever you need to do. Save it in your phone, and then the next day use those posts, and it will be so easy. You literally would just have to copy and paste and make the post. So definitely try to do that. And you can even do this on the weekend and schedule a few for the following week as far as challenge group posts and things like that. You can definitely schedule them and figure out what you're going to say the night before. What else was I going to say? Doing that kind of makes me, I was just going to say, making my post the night before just makes it, I put more thought into what I'm going to say as opposed to doing it the next day. Sometimes I forget what I'm going to say, and then I just kind of am rushed or whatever the case may be. So my last tip as far as being efficient and making sure you stay on schedule and have a work schedule is to find a success partner. You can use me as a partner, or find another coach, or you can use your spouse or a family member, someone that you live with in particular. I asked my husband to help me stay accountable to working every night from 7:30 to 9 or 7 to 9 o'clock, and just kind of remind me that I need to do it. And it's kind of nice if you have someone at home that does it for you, because they see what you're doing and they see you watching TV or sitting on the couch, and they can tell you hey, go work, go do something. You told me to keep you accountable. And then, I'm like, all right, you're right. I need to get up. So get a success partner and use this person as much as you can, whether it's texting each other every day or logging in on Facebook. Try to keep in touch every day. It's just going to be nice this person's going to help you push yourself to stay accountable to your goals. Tell each other what you want to do. What is your goal for today? What is your goal for the week? Keep this like an open conversation, but find someone. If you're going to use a family member, great. Or if you're going to use another coach, you can even use both. I do both. I have a couple of different coaches that I actually check in with. Some we check in about different stuff, others, whatever, but find some way to stay accountable to whatever your goals are going to be as far as keeping a work schedule. Whether it's, hey, text me at 7 o'clock and make sure I'm working, or text me at 5 a.m. and make sure I'm getting up to work out, whatever that is. So those are my tips. I hope this helped. I don't know if any of this is repetitive. You might have heard some of this stuff, but I really just kind of sat down and said, what have I learned in the past couple of months that I need to teach someone? Because like I said, I've been a coach for almost 2 years, and some of this stuff, I've learned this all in the beginning, or at least I heard some of it, but I just never put it to use, or I just never could figure out a way to do things. And I'm finally realizing this stuff and just needed to share it. So I'm not going to open it up to any questions because I am recording this. So what I'm going to do is, if you have any questions, or if you do want to use me as a success partner, or if you want to bounce any ideas off of me or anything like that, message me in our team page or shoot me a message on Facebook. So that's all I have. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.